There's only one person that could have helped, and he didn't. What he was doing all that time when him and Ruby were separated is beyond me. I will not let Ruby and Kevin and connections and Jodi take one more thing away from me.
So Bonnie, Ruby's sister, has come back for her second installment. She had actually already uploaded a video, I believe it was a week or so ago, but it was swiftly deleted because of the amount of backlash that it had gotten. Now, I have commented on that video. I did in fact say that we shouldn't be putting blame on the family as we don't know the circumstances, and now due to light that has come out about the DCFS, which is the Department of Child and Family Services, there has been a major lack of reporting on their behalf. We've had neighbours call in, we've had cops, we've even had cops sent to the door, nothing was done about it. We've had family make calls. This has been an ongoing problem, and I've covered it, and you can find that information out. It's readily available online. So we're going to be getting into this video where Bonnie is clearing up some statements that she made in her prior video prior to it being deleted. We'll go over that, and not only that, but there was also another video on the Law and Crime Network where Kevin's attorney is back again, Kevin being Ruby Franke's, well, still husband, but they are separated. He is clearing up some things that we have not necessarily been privy to. It hasn't been confirmed. He details the last time he saw the children, exactly why he wasn't really around his children without going into too much detail. And we're going to be looking at those two things because in this video where Bonnie makes it extremely clear that she thinks blame should be going on Kevin as well because Kevin was simply not around.
I know that my words will be used against me. I also know that my words may help people understand me a little. I can only speak for myself, and I will only be speaking for myself, other than the judge has asked us not to speak on certain topics that I will not be touching on.
So to give some backstory as to why people were annoyed with her past video was because a lot of people felt that she could have done more, that the family could have done more, and this was before more information started coming out. Now, of course, you do have the other side of the coin where there were some people, myself included, who didn't want to jump on the gun of blaming the family as we didn't know the exact situation. This has impacted their whole entire business. This has impacted everything because not only is, you know, Bonnie's sister is charged with heinous crimes. Not only that, but they are going to have a very big light cast on them because they are family vloggers and filming their kids is how they make their money, and people are going to relate that to the 8 passengers. Not only that, but a lot of people feel very, very strongly against the idea of filming their children for content.
The more I learn, my feelings are turning more to anger. I am mad. I am mad at what has happened. I am beyond disgusted, and I feel like it makes me tremble. It's truly unbelievable. I cannot be fully transparent with certain aspects of this, and if you don't understand that, then you don't understand how the system works.
Now, what I can imagine people saying to this is, why are you being so stern? You know, of course we understand the system, blah, blah, blah. I can imagine some people getting a bit offended by that. But listen, I honestly think that Bonnie and the rest of the family have been dragged into this. I don't think they had any idea of the gravity of what was going on. I don't think they were hiding anything. I think this is the voice of someone who has absolutely had enough of her sister's shit. It's honestly reached her last tether. It's affected her nieces and nephews. It has destroyed the whole entire family. And they do not want her sister, Kevin and Jodi, taking away anything else from them. That's just my own opinion. I also do think that trying to get kids out of a house is a lot harder than just going over there in the middle of the night and taking it. You can't do that. And even she says that she wouldn't have been able to do that.
We did everything legally that we could do. And for those that were saying that they'd go in and bust down doors and do whatever it took to end up in jail, because from jail, I can't do anything. So I still stand by what I said, is that I did everything that I could with the knowledge that I had.
She also clears up the whole "we knew for 3 years" statement that she made. She made a statement where she basically said we've known about this for 3 years, but she was kind of vague with it. And her explaining it in this video makes me realise actually what she meant. So she was cut off by Ruby about 3 years ago, and she has had no contact with any of them, any of her nieces and nephews, none of them at all. Had no contact until a year ago when Sherry Franke, who is Ruby Franke's eldest daughter, came into contact. It's not the fact that she knew about this for 3 years, it was the fact that she disagreed with Connections and Mums of Truth, and she was basically shunned 3 years ago. And she didn't want to come on publicly and say that she disagreed with Mums and Truth / Connections because she just didn't want to have to deal with it. So she just took it, but she didn't know the length of abuse that was going on, or if there even was any abuse. She wasn't privy to it. Both Sherry and Bonnie didn't realise the extent of what was going on. Nobody did, but they realised something wasn't quite right. Hence the reason why Bonnie says that they've been working behind the scenes, but as she says, she only came into contact with Sherry in the past year.
I have kept quiet for 3 years on the topic of our sister Ruby and Jodi and Kevin and Connections. We did not know what they were doing. We were cut off. We did not have access to anyone. It was complete indoctrination of this thing that they created.
Now, around the same time as well, 3 years ago, Jodi and Ruby partnered up, and that is what Bonnie is referring to here. And we now know, and we have known for a little while, that Jodi's techniques as a therapist, counsellor, whoever, whatever, and even as far to say as their whole Connections thing, is basically isolation from friends, family, husbands. It is the whole thing. In fact, there is this interview which I have talked about earlier in this video with Kevin's attorney, where Kevin basically says that he was told to stay away from his wife and kids for 13 months. It would have been more if they hadn't been arrested, to save their own marriage.
But what people don't understand is that he was trying to preserve his marriage. He was taking direction from her. She's the one who asked him to leave the house, and indicating that in order for him to be able to get back together with her and be a family, that she was requesting that he leave the home and that he not contact them or the children. Later told him that everything was blissful at home. It was so much better without him.
Now, these kind of claims also line up with a lot of Jodi Hildebrandt's past clients, past whoever, whatever. It does line up. Does that mean to say that Kevin is being truthful? I don't know. That's not, I really can't make that judgment at this time. Bonnie is absolutely furious with Kevin, and she thinks that he could have done more, and she lays the blame on all of Connections, Jodi, Ruby, and Kevin as well. She also states that she hasn't been in contact with Kevin during this time.
I did everything that I could with the knowledge that I had and within the legal rights to Ruby and Kevin. One person that could have done something within his legal right was Kevin. We had zero contact with him. It was Kevin's job to check in on things, and he did not.
Did he ever believe that the kids were in danger? Did he ever believe that Ruby might have been doing something to the kids?
He had nothing to indicate that.
And see, this is the part that's stumping me. Bonnie has a point. I mean, a lot of people have a point. The reasoning why Kevin left, now we know, is because he was basically asked to leave and he didn't have contact for 13 months, but he didn't suspect anything was going on. Now, interestingly, when I did listen to this, and this is the new one on the Law and Crime Network, the attorney wouldn't go into much detail, but he basically said that there was a difference in parenting.
Probably shouldn't go into that. That's pretty private. But let's just say they had a difference of opinion about their family.
Parenting? I know you can't talk about it, but is it that kind of where we're going?
Correct.
Now, this is purely speculation, but was the difference in parenting that she was more physical, that she was taking things to a far more extreme level? Definitely done some things with the 8 passengers. He has been responsible just as much as Ruby has. But if he felt that there were red flags, then surely he would want to be there for his kids. This is what I don't understand. This is what a lot of other people have a hard time wrapping their head around as well. There was 0 contact within those 13 months. Of course, we do know that women can be just as manipulative and abusive and domestically abusive as men. No one's ever going to counteract that claim. 100% believe it, but Kevin's not coming out with a valid reasoning as to why he left, only the fact there was a difference in parenting. And it does make you side-eye what is going on there. It has. I don't think this interview has done Kevin the world of good. I think it's just opened up a can of worms. But according to his attorney, he is not under investigation, but he will not be attending any of the court hearings unless asked to.
Well, the hearings are taking place down in Washington County, down in St. George, which is about a 2.5-hour drive from where Kevin lives. And so most of those he's probably not going to attend. If they require him to attend, he'll go. My guess is he probably isn't interested in attending those.
Does he plan to cooperate, or is this a situation where he may decide to plead the fifth and protect his rights?
Well, thus far he hasn't been accused of any crimes, and in my view, I don't think he's committed any crimes. He's had pretty much full disclosure through the juvenile court. He hasn't committed any crimes, and I don't believe they believe that he has.
If my other half was being, charged with that kind of thing, I would be there for every freaking court hearing. If I knew I hadn't done anything wrong and that there was no way I could be charged or anything, I would be down there for every single court hearing. I'd be watching them witches burn. Excuse my phrasing, but do you know what I mean? I would be absolutely furious. But I don't, honestly, this situation had never happened to me. I don't know how I'd react, but I'd like to think that that's what I'd do. Does that kind of lean into the, why is he avoiding it? Maybe it purely is because it's so far away. I find that a little bit tricky to navigate. Like I say, I don't think that interview did Kevin the world of good, but I will leave it linked down below. Now, I included that because Bonnie was obviously talking about, Kevin being absent, and I just wanted to present what we now know from what Kevin's attorney has said. Bonnie does end it with basically saying that she and her husband have worked so hard to build this house, and they're not going to allow Kevin and Ruby and connections and Jodi to ruin one more thing for them, as their career online is pretty much one of the last things they have left, aside from their family, and they are not going to allow a single second more of them ripping things away from them.
Meantime and in between, we do everything that we can to be involved, but there is only so much that we're allowed to do. So you better believe that for my husband, we will push forward. We will move on. Not because it feels good in any way. It feels horrible. It feels horrible coming into the house and working on things and even thinking of anything else. All while every news outlet, every national news outlet, people coming out of the woodworks making claims that are just so beyond ridiculous that there is no comment. It is so stupid that there is no comment.
So this is the part where I've actually had quite a few messages on. because of course a lot of people who watch my channel like the discussion on, you know, stopping or limiting the amount that family channels show, you know, of their kids. And I think, I hand on heart think that if Bonnie and the family had another profession other than family vlogging, no one would bat an eyelid. You know, at the end of the day, they still need money, they still need to work. I don't watch their channel, I never have watched Bonnie's channel, so I don't know the law behind it. I've heard various different things about it which don't sound good, and as a whole, I do not agree with family vlogging. I really don't. I think that if they wanted to come back into it, they should really limit the amount that they are sharing of their children for safety reasons. I will always stand by that. I think pretty much everyone should stop doing family vlogging. That's just my own personal opinion, but I'm aware other people think differently. That is my own opinion. I don't think kids should be shown on the internet in that way. Now, if they came back and they showed very minimally of their children and they started to kind of, you know, erase the children from their channel, then yes, yeah, you know, I do think that people forget, as much as I hate the fact that these guys family vlog, I hate it. This is their form of income, so they're going to have to put on a brave face and carry on filming. Think of it as like going back to work. You need to earn money. That this is how they earn their money, even if it's not a good way of doing it. If they came back, like I just said, if they came back and they didn't show their kids that much, given all the stuff that's going on about the family, I think it would be incredibly wise if they left their kids out of vlogs. That's just my own personal opinion. Then I don't see anything the matter with them coming back and them continuing to vlog as long as their children are not present. Their kids do not need to be involved with any of this stuff that's going on, and by them being shown on camera, unfortunately, there's going to be more eyes on it. That's what I think. But I think people getting angry that they are returning to YouTube, or Bonnie being upset that this is impacting her job, I don't actually think that is selfish. This is her way of earning money, a crappy way of doing it, but a way. And like I'm going to have to keep on saying this, if she comes back, she doesn't show her kids, she keeps them out of the way, and she starts to erase it, then fine. But if she comes back and she thrusts the kids back into family vlogging, I do think that is going to be a problem. Not just because a lot of people don't like family vlogging, but also for the safety of those children, given the circumstances that are surrounding their family right now. And that is pretty much all I really have to say to it. I hope that has made sense, but that's my 2 cents on it. But, you know, for people to say that she can't come back in any capacity, even if she's not showing her kids, they cannot ever come back. They need money, and people, you can make a living off of social media without resorting to family vlogging. They could. They've just got to not film their kids and start just taking that away from the internet. And then I think that people would be a lot better for it. Like I say, I think that if she didn't do family vlogging and she did another thing, the transition might have been a hell of a lot smoother and people would understand it a lot more. That's pretty much all I've got to say today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch up with you guys in the next video.
It's okay to get help, and you should get help the same way. And my mom once said this, and I thought it was so beautiful. She said, if you struggle with mental illness, you should get the medication that is going to help you, because the same way someone that is diabetic needs their medication. It's very important to go to someone reputable, someone that's licensed, and get some good help, because the help that's out there is not created equal. So find someone good and reputable.